Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Aliens uncover the horrifying secret. Humans are the galaxy's deadliest species. First contact, the long-range sensors of the Galactic Confederation picked up the anomaly during a routine sweep of unexplored sectors. A small blue planet, third from an unremarkable yellow star, was emitting radiation patterns that didn't match any known natural phenomenon. High Commander Sarvex of the Alian Empire studied the readouts with growing interest, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence as data streamed across his neural interface. "Analysis?" he asked, his voice resonating through the command chamber. Science Director Trellis's tentacles danced across the holographic interface. "The emissions suggest primitive technology," he continued. "Commander, radio waves, electromagnetic radiation, thermal signatures, consistent with early industrial development, nothing that indicates interstellar capabilities." Sarvex chittered thoughtfully. The Confederation had encountered dozens of emerging species in its 10,000 years of exploration. Protocol was clear. Observe, document, and classify according to the Galactic Threat Index. Most species registered as Class 1 or Class 2, harmless curiosities to be monitored at a distance until they either destroyed themselves or achieved sufficient enlightenment to be considered for contact. "What's unusual about these emissions?" he asked, sensing Trellis's hesitation. "The rate of technological advancement," she replied. "We have historical records of this planet from a survey probe that passed through this system 800 cycles ago. At that time, the dominant species was using primitive combustion tools. Now they've developed nuclear technology, rudimentary space exploration, and global communication networks. 800 cycles." Sarvex's exoskeleton stiffened. "That's unprecedented," Trellis finished. "Most species take at least 5,000 cycles to achieve such development." Sarvex's mandibles clicked in the Alaean expression of concern. The Confederation valued stability and predictability above all else. "Anomaly requires investigation. Prepare a reconnaissance mission," he ordered, invoking Level 3 protocol, observation only. The Alesian stealth vessel Silent Observer entered Earth's solar system 3 months later, its quantum cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human detection systems. Captain Zindar, chosen for her exceptional record in sinological studies, commanded a crew of 20 elite specialists. "Passive scans only," she instructed as they established orbit around Earth's moon. "No emissions that might alert them to our presence." For 3 Earth weeks, they watched. They intercepted communications, analyzed military deployments, studied population centers, and compiled a comprehensive assessment of human capabilities. The data was simultaneously fascinating and reassuring. "They're chaotic," noted behavioral analyst K. Elmore. "They have no unified planetary government. They waste resources on internal conflicts. Their technology is crude by our standards, but," countered weapons specialist Vortek, "their weapons are designed for maximum damage with minimal resources, and they adapt their technologies quickly." Zindar observed the holographic representation of Earth rotating before her. "Something about these humans troubled me. They moved faster, fought quicker, fought harder than any species the Confederation had previously documented." "Classification recommendation?" she asked her team. "Class 2, said Krell confidently. "They pose no interstellar threat. Their propulsion systems can barely reach their own moon." "I disagree," Vortex interjected. "Their weapons development suggests a Class 3 at minimum. They've progressed from simple atomic weapons to thermonuclear devices in less than 100 of their years." Zindar was about to respond when sensor technician Pivox interrupted with uncharacteristic urgency. "Captain, we're being scanned." The command deck fell silent. "Impossible," Krellmore whispered. "Our cloaking technology is. They've modified their radar arrays," P.L. Knox explained, his manipulations flying across his console. "They're using a frequency that's creating a harmonic resonance with our cloaking field. It's ingenious." Zindar's exoskeleton chilled. "How long have they been tracking us for?" "Approximately 6 of their days," Pivox admitted. "They've been subtle. I almost missed it. Evasive action," Zindar ordered immediately. "Break orbit, land." The ship shuddered as something impacted their shields. "Kinetic projectile," Vortex reported, astonishment evident in his voice. Crude but effective, they've launched several dozen from their planet's surface. Return fire? Asked the weapons officer. Negative, Zindar commanded. Observation protocol remains in effect. Retreat to the dark side of their moon and prepare a full report for High Command. The silent observer accelerated its advanced engines, flaring as it evaded the surprisingly accurate human weapons. As they retreated, Zindar received another shock. "Captain, we're being hailed," Communications Officer Gemlar announced. "They're transmitting on all frequencies. They've broken our communication encryption." "How is that possible?" Zindar demanded. "Unknown, but the message is clear. We know you're watching. We've been expecting you." Zindar felt a sensation she had never experienced in her 300 cycles of life, primal fear. "Play the full message," she ordered. A human voice, translated through their systems, filled the command deck of the alien vessel currently orbiting Earth. "We've been monitoring your activities since you entered our solar system. Your technology is impressive but not infallible. Consider this a demonstration of our capabilities. We have no hostile intentions unless provoked. We are prepared to establish diplomatic communications if that is your purpose. If not, be advised that our defense systems are now calibrated to your ship's signature. This is your only warning." The command deck remained silent for several moments. "How?" K. Elmore finally asked. "How did a primitive species detect us, track us, and then breach our communications?" Vortex's voice was grim. "Perhaps they're not as primitive as we thought." Back at Confederation headquarters, High Commander Exarvex reviewed the Silent Observer's report with mounting concern. The humans had not only detected their most advanced stealth vessel, but had managed to track it and communicate directly with the crew. The implications were disturbing. They should be reclassified immediately. "Class 4 at minimum," Zindar insisted during her debriefing. Exarvex's primary hearts pulsed with agitation. Class 4 species are considered potential threats to regional stability. Only 3 other species in the known galaxy held such a designation, and all had developed interstellar travel independently. "Your recommendation is based on speculation," argued Political Director Krenvos. "One incident does not justify such an extreme classification. They remain confined to their solar system with respect," Director Zindar countered. "Their rate of advancement is unprecedented. 800 cycles ago, they were using primitive wheeled vehicles. Now they can detect our most advanced stealth technology if this trend continues." She didn't need to finish the thought. Everyone in the chamber understood the implications. "We need more information," Carvex decided. "A direct assessment," military strategist Dren Cold added as his scales shifted to a warning crimson. "You're suggesting contact that violates all protocols for pre-interstellar species." "They've already initiated contact," Tarvex pointed out. "And I'm not suggesting diplomatic relations. I'm proposing a controlled test of their capabilities." Silence fell across the council chamber as the implication became clear. A limited military engagement. "Drenal?" asked, his tone neutral, but his scales shifting to an eager purple. "Precisely," Sarvex confirmed. "Nothing that threatens their species or planet, a calibrated response to assess their true military capacity. If they are as adaptable and resourceful as Captain Zindar suggests, we need to know before they develop interstellar capabilities." The Council voted unanimously to approve the mission. 3 battle cruisers were dispatched to Earth with instructions to conduct a limited engagement, targeting only military installations and defense systems. The objective: determine whether humans represented a genuine threat to galactic stability. It would be the Confederation's first and greatest miscalculation. General Maria Chen stared at the satellite imagery on the massive display screen. 3 objects, each larger than an aircraft carrier, had appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system and were moving toward the planet at tremendous speed. "Time to orbital insertion," she asked. 17 hours, ma'am," replied Colonel Jackson. "Based on their trajectory, they'll establish geosynchronous positions over North America, Asia, and Europe." Chen nodded grimly. The world's governments had united with unprecedented speed after the first alien ship had been detected 3 months ago. Ancient rivalries and political differences had been set aside in the face of a potential existential threat. "Are the Artemis platforms ready?" she asked. Yes, Mom, all six are deployed and operational. The kinetic defense grid is at full capacity and the M-pulse generators are charged. We've also dispersed the quantum communication nodes as you ordered. Chen studied the approaching vessels. The first contact had been a reconnaissance mission, that much was clear. These ships were different, larger armed, they're coming to test us, she said quietly. Mom, they want to see how we respond to a show of force. They underestimated us once already, now they're trying to determine if we're a threat. Colonel Jackson's expression hardened. Are we? General Chen's lips curved into a smile that held no warmth. That's what they're about to find out. She activated the global command channel. This is General Chen to all Artemis defense sectors. Condition Alpha, I repeat, Condition Alpha, Operation Poseidon is now active. May God help us all across the planet. Humanity prepared for a confrontation they had anticipated for decades. The aliens were about to discover what made humans the most dangerous species in the galaxy. When threatened, they didn't just fight to survive, they fought to win. The hunters become the hunted. Fleet Commander Drunk Cole observed Earth through the main view screen of the battle cruiser Indomitable Might. His exoskeleton hummed with anticipation as the three vessels moved into position. This mission would secure his place in Confederation history, the commander who definitively assessed the human threat. All ships are in position, his executive officer reported. Weapon systems are primed and targeting Earth's primary military installations. Excellent, Drenal replied. Begin the demonstration. Target their largest military base in each hemisphere. Minimum destructive force. We want to measure their response, not annihilate them. Commencing attack in 32, the commander began when the sensor officer interrupted. Energy surge detected from Earth's moon. Before Drenal could respond, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared across the command deck. Status report, he demanded. Electromagnetic pulse of unprecedented magnitude, the science officer reported, mandibles clicking in distress. Shield effectiveness reduced by 60%, secondary systems failing. Impossible, Drenal hissed. Their technology coolant, second wave incoming, the sensor officer shouted. This time the impact was physical. Hundreds of kinetic projectiles launched from concealed moon bases slammed into the Confederation vessels. Though primitive compared to energy weapons, the sheer mass and velocity of the projectiles overwhelmed the weakened shields. Hull breaches on decks 7 through 12 were reported by the damage control officer. We've lost contact with the Eternal Vigilance. Drenal's scales shifted to battle red. Return fire. Target every launch site. The Indomitable Might's weapon systems came alive, sending devastating energy beams toward the lunar surface. Explosions blossomed across the moon, destroying several human installations, but it was already too late. Commander, multiple small craft approaching from Earth, the sensor officer reported. Hundreds of them, and something else. 6 larger objects rising from Earth's oceans, the Artemis platforms. Drenal whispered, recalling the intelligence briefings on ocean-based launch facilities the humans had kept hidden from orbital surveillance. The first human missiles struck the Indomitable Might section. They weren't the crude nuclear weapons the Confederation had expected. These projectiles carried quantum warheads, technology the humans shouldn't have developed for another 500 cycles. How? Drenal demanded, as another section of his ship was vaporized. How did they develop quantum weaponry? No one on the command deck had an answer. They were too busy fighting for survival. As waves of human fighters swarmed around the Confederation vessels, targeting weakened shield sections with surgical precision, the communications officer announced, "The Righteous Fury is reporting critical damage. They're abandoning ship." Drunk Cole's mandibles clicked in shock. In the 10,000-year history of the Confederation, no battle cruiser had ever been lost in combat. "Full retreat," he ordered, his voice hollow. "Get us out of this system." As the Indomitable Might limped away from Earth, its hull breached in dozens of places and half its crew dead or wounded, Drenal faced the unthinkable. He had failed. The humans weren't just a potential threat. They were a fully realized one, and the Confederation had just provoked them. High Commander Karavek stood before the Confederation Grand Council, his posture rigid as he absorbed the magnitude of the disaster. Of the 3 battle cruisers sent to Earth, only the Indomitable Might had returned, and it was so badly damaged it had to be scuttled. Over 2,000 Confederation citizens were dead. The humans had not only repelled the attack, but had demonstrated technology centuries beyond what should have been possible. "This is unprecedented," Elder Counselor Zinvok stated, her ancient voice quavering. "In all our history, no pre-interstellar species has ever defeated a Confederation battle fleet. They were prepared." Karavvex replied, "Somehow they anticipated not just our arrival, but our tactical approach. Their countermeasures were specifically designed to exploit weaknesses in our shield technology." "Impossible," declared Security Director Pander. "That information is classified at the highest levels. There's no way a primitive species could." "Yet they did," interrupted Counselor Trenbax. "The question is how?" Science Director Trelma's manipulators activated a holographic display. "We've been analyzing the data from the indomitable might sensors. The humans have developed a unique approach to technological advancement. Where other species progress linearly, humans adopt a recursive, exponential pattern. They don't just build on previous knowledge, they constantly recombine and repurpose it in ways we find chaotic." "Explain," Sarvex commanded. "Consider their weapons," Trelma continued. "They combined primitive kinetic projectiles with advanced targeting systems. They used electromagnetic pulse technology, which we considered obsolete millennia ago, in novel ways that overwhelmed our modern defenses. They've developed quantum warheads without first mastering controlled fusion. Their advancement doesn't follow any pattern we recognize." The council chamber fell silent as the implications settled upon them. "And now they know about us," Elder Counselor Zenvox said quietly. "We've revealed our existence, our technology, and our hostile intent." Exarvex's exoskeleton tightened in the Alaean expression of dread. "They will retaliate. They can't reach us," Security Director Pander insisted. "They don't have interstellar capabilities yet," Trina added ominously. "Based on their demonstrated rate of advancement and their newly acquired knowledge of our technology from the destroyed vessels, I estimate they could develop interstellar travel within 5 cycles. 5 cycles, 5 years by the human calendar." The council erupted in alarm. "We must prepare a full-scale invasion force," Pandyr declared. "Sterilize their planet before they become a galactic threat." "No," Sarvex countered. "That would require resources we don't have. The Confederation fleet is dispersed across 17 sectors. Assembling a force capable of overcoming Earth's defenses would leave our core worlds vulnerable." "Then what do you suggest?" High Commander asked. Elder Counselor Zenvox Tarvex hesitated. "What I am about to propose violates millennia of Confederation protocol. We negotiate." The United Earth Defense Council received the Confederation's communication with wary skepticism. The alien message, translated through captured technology from the destroyed vessels, requested a diplomatic meeting on neutral territory, Earth's moon. General Maria Chen studied the message alongside representatives from every major nation. "It's a trap," suggested the Russian delegate. "They're buying time to bring reinforcements." "Perhaps," Chen replied, "but our analysis of their ship logs suggests they're telling the truth. The Confederation doesn't have the forces in this sector to overcome our defenses for now," added the Chinese representative. "But in time." Chen nodded grimly. "That's why we negotiate from strength. We've deciphered enough of their technology to understand their capabilities. They're advanced but not invincible, and if diplomacy fails," asked the American president, "then we take the fight to them." Project Exodus is already ahead of schedule. The first interstellar ships will be ready within 3 years. The Council voted unanimously to accept the Confederation's offer of negotiations while simultaneously accelerating humanity's military expansion. Peace was preferable, but humanity would never again be at the mercy of alien powers. High Commander Karvek stepped onto the lunar surface, his environmental suit adapting to the harsh conditions across the designated meeting ground. 3 human representatives waited despite their fragile appearance. No exoskeleton, minimal environmental protection, vulnerable respiratory systems. "Zarvex no longer underestimated them. We greet you in peace," he transmitted, using the human's own language, laboriously learned for this historic meeting. General Chen stepped forward. "Your previous actions suggest otherwise, Commander. Has Zarvex's translator captured the underlying hostility?" "A regrettable misunderstanding. A confederation sought only to assess your capabilities by attacking our planet." Chen's voice was cold. "A limited demonstration," Sarvex insisted, "not meant to cause significant harm." "Then you failed twice," Chen replied. You misjudged both our intentions and our capabilities. Zarvex couldn't argue. The evidence of that failure surrounded them. The wreckage of Confederation vessels scattered across the lunar surface, salvaged by human engineers who were already reverse engineering the advanced technology. The Confederation proposes a non-aggression pact, he stated. Moving to the purpose of the meeting, we recognize Earth's sovereignty and right to self-determination within its solar system, just this solar system. Chen asked pointedly. Zarvex, his primary hearts fluttered in alarm. The humans were already thinking beyond their own star. Interstellar travel is complex. He said carefully, the Confederation has established protocols for emerging spacefaring species. We're not interested in your protocols. Commander, Chen interrupted, we've analyzed your ship's database. The Confederation claims jurisdiction over 12,000 star systems, yet you've colonized fewer than 200. You enforce technological development restrictions on emerging species to maintain your dominance. Zarvex's mandibles clicked in shock. The humans had accessed classified Confederation data. Our policies ensure galactic stability, he argued. They ensure your supremacy, Chen countered. Humanity has no interest in conquest, Commander, but neither will we accept artificial limitations on our development. The negotiation continued for 12 Earth hours. In the end, the treaty they drafted was unlike any in Confederation history. Earth would remain sovereign and free to develop without interference. In exchange, humanity would not target Confederation worlds or vessels unless provoked. As Carvex prepared to depart, General Chen offered one final message. Understand this, Commander. Humanity spent its entire history fighting against nature, against itself, against extinction. It made us what we are. We don't want war with the Confederation, but if it comes, we will be ready. Pixarvex understood the warning. In testing humanity, the Confederation had awakened something ancient and dangerous. A species forged in conflict whose very existence was a testament to their capacity for survival against impossible odds. 5 years later, the first human interstellar vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Alpha Centauri, named Prometheus. It carried scientists, diplomats, and though not visibly enough firepower to level a small moon as it approached the system's habitable planet already colonized by the Confederation, the ship's captain received a priority message from Earth. Confederation diplomatic vessel approaching Earth. It read, they're requesting expanded trade agreements and technological exchange programs. The captain smiled. Humanity's first steps into the galaxy had begun, not with war, but with cautious respect from the civilization that had once considered them a threat. The Confederation had learned what many human adversaries had discovered throughout history: underestimate humans at your peril. Across the galaxy, the classification of Earth in the Confederation database was quietly updated. No longer listed as a Class 4 potential threat, humanity now occupied a category of its own, Class 0, essential ally existential threat. The designation came with a simple warning for all Confederation species: approach with caution, provoke at your own risk. In the vast tapestry of galactic civilizations, humanity had earned its place not through age or technological superiority, but through the qualities that had enabled their survival on a hostile planet: adaptability, resourcefulness, and an indomitable will to overcome any challenge. The galaxy would never be the same again, and in the quiet moments between stars, as human ships ventured ever outward, the oldest species whispered warnings about the newcomers, the apex predators who had transformed from prey to hunter in a single generation. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the universe trembled in backlash.